I see Ratty in the chat. Hung Mono. Hung Mono is in this tournament. You're not wrong. I could have signed up and played against Light. Oh, I don't play. I cast. I'm casting, Papi. I'm casting. Aye, aye, aye. But here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Babylon, we have our Canadian Zerg player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Babylon, we have her opponents. We have the Malaysian Protoss, the best player in all of Malaysia, representing Team Infected. It is Ranger. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. Again, these two players have lived together, of course, in the Team Unity team house back in the day, back in Korea, quite a number of years ago, before the era of COVID, I think around 2018, 2019. Ooh, so it has been a while, and yeah, it's great to see them here once again. Of course, Scarlett is the favorite. She has been able to excel quite a bit in her career. At times, she's even been the best foreigner out there, you know, especially back in Heart of the Swarm. You know, she was vying for that title alongside Snoot, for example. This was kind of before the rise of Neeb, in a way, before his Kespa Cup championship. But yeah, it's really cool to see Scarlett evolve over the years. I've always been a fan of Scarlett since the very beginning. Fun fact, I got into StarCraft in 2013 because of Total Biscuit, because I was a fan of TB, a fan of his videos, and he founded his team. He founded Team Axiom. That's where the CranKy Ducklings come from, of course. But back in the day, if you are unaware, Scarlett lived with Team Axiom in the Team Axiom team house, in the Axiom team house, in Korea back then. And they also unified, they joined forces, because Scarlett was on Acer back in the day, and they joined forces and made a hybrid team called Axiom Acer, and they played in GSTL, and every week I'd be there to watch GSTL, and Scarlett would be there in the studio, competing, playing, eating corn. That's where the corn meme started, where she was always like, they always like caught her eating corn on camera. The Korean broadcasters love to show that. Yeah, it's from back in the day. She was basically a pseudo Axiom member in a way. So of course, massive fan, and all these years later, she's still of course competing, still playing, and still looking in top form. But we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this does turn out here. Again, Ranger has been on that grind, has been practicing quite a lot here, and now it's time to show it all off. As our tech of choice here, we're not quite set up for a Stargate opener, and yeah, there we go. Interesting choice. So I was really curious if Ranger went for the Robo opener last game, just because he knew there was a bit of a skill difference between him and his opponent, between him and BK. But no, apparently once again, Ranger against Scarlett is going for a Robo Twilight Council opener. This is almost looking like a DT opener. Interesting. So this is not the norm, this is not the standard opener here. Ranger is looking to take his third base as well behind this. And we're only working off of 2 gates, so I'm really curious as to how this is going to turn out. Meanwhile, back at home, Scarlett went for a hatch gas pool, is just going to be droning up as well. Everything's looking quite normal, quite standard. Already pulled a queen over so we can transfuse as soon as, we can inject as soon as possible. And now that the Twilight Council is done, we can throw down our Dark Shrine, but before that happens, Scarlett dips in with her Overlord. Oh, she doesn't scout the main, though. She is going to be... No! She's going to be pushed away, but the Adept is out of position. There is no wall. The wall is not a wall, and the Lings, they flood into the natural. Aye. Ranger, a little bit of a misstep there. He's going to get his Adepts and surrounded as well. The value gotten by Scarlett is insane. And after getting all this damage done, she can go into the main base for a full scout. Looking at her vision, we haven't seen the tech yet, but we also haven't seen an Oracle, so she knows it's not a Stargate opener. She knows she can cut corners, and she doesn't have to throw down a Spore yet. She can wait and only defend with these queens, and yeah, can be a little bit greedy as a result. Meanwhile, Ranger is going for Blink. This was a little bit later though, and this was a 2-gate Blink opener, so a very greedy opener that has been making the rounds. We see a bit of a gateway explosion and a +1 forge on the way. But yeah, really interesting way to go about this. Oh, as 2 adepts get across the map, and hey, 4 drones go down. Not bad here. So the reason why we don't see this kind of opener too often is because without oracles, you kind of lack your supportive unit for the blink stalkers. You know, like Ling heavy compositions are so common. You don't just lack the oracles to support your units, but you also lack them to scout, right? Oracles are so important for their revelations, dipping between the bases, getting an eye on the drone count, the base count, the tech as well. So Ranger is going to be in the dark. He's warping in sentries, and sentries will help make up for that. We can go for hallucinated scouts, but again, we are reliant on energy, and we also need force fields to defend back at home. A really interesting setup overall by Rangers is getting into immortal production. Meanwhile, Scarlett is powering through these rocks. Rocks are getting knocked down. We are making a swell of Lings behind this. Scarlett, it looks like she doesn't intend to saturate her 4th base. She's going for a massive Roach Ravager Queen Ling push. We're very committed here. And is Ranger going to have enough to defend? We have 2 shield batteries on the way. Sorry, we have 3 shield batteries set up. We have a 4th shield battery as well. So we're set up pretty well defensively. But do we have enough units? Oh boy, we have 1 immortal, a handful of stalkers, and 4 sentries. The force fields are thrown down, but they're going to go down immediately to the Biles. Lings, they go for a surround. The shield battery is exposed. Biles once again connecting, taking down the shield battery, and now the immortals are exposed. And this push is just going to be too much. We're rallying more and more Lings across the map. Ranger, his 3rd base is being broken. Boys are being pulled, stalkers are blinking their hearts out. GG gets called, and Scarlett takes game number 1. GG. Babylon is getting a reputation as becoming the Zergol in map. I think the interesting thing about Babylon is that we've seen several Raynor and Scarlett and Dark as well. Like every single Zerg player that we see on Babylon at some point in the series will be going for an all-in, and it's just so strong, it's so powerful once you knock down those rocks. Oh. Letting them know. Dave is like, is there a history between Ranger and Scarlett? And we're letting him know that they used to live together. It's all good. But yeah, this map has been so accustomed to Zergol Lins. They're so powerful here, and well, we saw Ranger struggling quite a bit here to defend. And with that, Scarlett has a lead, and we're going to be getting into game number 2. Game 2 is going to be taking place on Gresfan. It looks like the players need a little bit of time, though, to get ready. A little bit of time. Then we will jump on in. Beautiful. Just need a little bit of time, and oh boy, do we have any other updates going on here? Dark did send out a lobby link, and it looks like Dark is going to be facing Bad Boars in the 2nd round. Meanwhile, we got another update. Oh, Firefly took down Hon Mono 2-1. Pretty impressive result there. I would have loved to have casted some Hon Mono. I love him as a player, so I'm a big fan of Hon Mono, but alas, it looks like he has met his end. I can't believe my eyes. 10,000 fireflies. Oh. So Firefly moves on to the quarterfinals as well. The quarterfinals is looking to get pretty stacked. Quite a lot of players are already making their way there, and we'll see who else makes it there. Who else of these 2 players does advance on. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Gresfan, we have our Canadian Zerg player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Gresfan, we have the blue Protoss player representing Team Infected, it is Ranger. Here we go. Ranger also having like some pseudo ties to the CranKy Ducklings as well. I know that this is a little bit more known if you tune into Aries. If you know Aries, he is the Singaporean Malaysian member of the CranKy Ducklings. I've casted with him on this channel before. It's been like a year. I haven't casted with Aries in a very long time. But he is featured in one of the duct tapes, the team game duct tape, where I'm giving him a hard time for playing Protoss and not playing Skytoss properly. Oh god, but yeah, Aries, he's a member of the CranKy Ducklings, and because he's also from Malaysia, or he's a Malaysian citizen. Oh, I think he gave up his citizenship to be in Singapore, but regardless, he was born in Malaysia. And because of that, he's good friends with Ranger as well, and I know Ranger took him under his wing and gave Aries a lot of coaching as well, so Aries could improve as a player. The reason for that is because Aries and Ranger, they actually represented Malaysia in some like nation wars events. So yeah, it's really cool. We haven't had nation wars in a while, but yeah, they used to, of course, represent the country together, and as a result, there was a lot of camaraderie amongst them. I remember Ranger asking him, he was like, mate, how'd you get on the CranKy Ducklings? And Aries is like, oh, I just got lucky, Bobby. I just got lucky. Oh. Yeah, we have some ties there, with some close ties there with Ranger as well. Almost one of our own. Oh. But here we go. Now we're getting to game number 2, and this is going to be a much more standard opener here. Ranger is going to be going for a Stargate opener on Gresvan, so something more standard, something we're more used to. Again, that Robo first into Blink off of 2 gates is so quirky on Babylon. Like, it's something we don't see too often. That build from Ranger just feels really, I don't know, it feels really greedy. It feels like you're lacking a lot of map presence when you do that as well, and that can be a really dangerous thing when you're not fully aware of what the Zerg player is up to. The Ranger's going to be rectifying that here with the Stargate. Should be going into an Oracle from here, and with that, he can look to deal some damage and also get an eye on the Zerg. I wonder what Scarlett is up to. See Ranger here, just dancing with the Queen, maybe looking to pick off a tumor if the opportunity presents itself. Behind this, Ranger races back home with his Adepts. We have our third base going to be on the way soon as well. Everything looking normal from our Protoss. Standard openers so far, standard openers. Which is more than I can say about last game. Scarlett's going to be dipping in with her Lings, going to be confirming the timing of the third base. If this Adept does move out, we have the Overlord to scout, and the Lings will rush in, so Ranger has to be very careful here with his Adept movement. Meanwhile, across the map, the Oracle slips in, but oh, the Queens are in position. The Oracle gets deflected. Uh-oh. And do you see what I see? As the Oracle is busy between the main and the third base, Scarlett starts a lair here at her natural. And that is a fast lair. Oh! Do you have a Sage Trap in? Ooh, the Sage Trap gets targeted down by the Queens. The DPS is just too damn high. At the same time, Ranger is not going for a second Oracle behind this, is going for a Void Ray instead, is going to be keeping his transition hidden. And it's not a Twilight Council with a Forge, it's a Robo instead. Oh boy, so both players are looking to pop off here. Again, a very fast lair from Scarlett. What's it going to be used for? We can use this for Ling Queen Nidus all-in. But before that happens, the Lings are across the map, and there's no shield battery. No shield battery, no Oracle. The DPS from this Void Ray is just too damn low. It's too slow. And every single Adept goes down. Oh my god, can we get a probe? We even get 2 probes. Damage is insane, and I was curious as to what this lair was for. It is for a very fast Hydra Den. Interesting, very interesting. So we're going to be going for a bit of a Ling Hydra timing here. I was about to talk about how like a Ling Queen wouldn't make too much sense because additional gases were being taken. I was trying to piece together what exactly it was going to be, whether it was going to be a Spire or a Hydra Den. You can see here, Hydras are going to be on the way. But we are prioritizing the melee upgrades, which is the interesting thing. Now, I think Ranger would be in a good position if he wasn't, or if he hadn't sustained so many losses at his third base already. The problem is that now he has to spend more resources rebuilding all these adepts to be active on the map. I do think that Charged Archon is a better composition against Ling Hydra than Ling Roach Ravager. So because of that, I think Ranger compositionally would be at an advantage. But because he's been slowed down so much this game already, like his army isn't going to be as large in time, and I'm concerned for it. Oh. Meanwhile, the Oracle does zoom into the main base, does get picked off, but the important thing, Ranger saw the Hydra Den. He knows. From here, because we have a Robo, we can throw down a Bay, we can start Colossus production, we can start Disruptor production. Colossi honestly would be amazing in this army just to help deal with Lings, Banes, and Hydras. Oh boy. But we gotta be careful because Ranger, he's working with very few units right now, and Scarlett likewise has been pretty damn greedy. Oh my god, Scarlett has already droned up to 89! Only made a handful of Hydras for map control, but like her economy is actually insane right now. And she can get away with this. Why? Well, we didn't open up triple Oracle, so there's no Oracles to harass. There was only one and it's already dead. On top of that, we didn't go for any kind of crisp blink timing or a Glaive Adept follow-up. A Ranger, for the most part, has been stuck at home. And Scarlett recognized that and took full advantage of it. She's getting a fourth base, she's getting a macro hatch right now, taking all of her gases, which she will need because of the Hydras, because they are pretty gas intensive. And now Scarlett can just focus on nothing but army, nothing but Ling Bane Hydra. Oh boy. A Zerg player left to their own devices is a scary thing, and now Scarlett is looking to max out, looking to power through these rocks, and Ranger is gonna have Storm, so can take a good fight, but Ranger is also out of position, and Ranger's fourth base is looking very exposed. Here we go, the Hydras, they move on forward already. They are going to be forcing the army of Ranger to rotate over. He is getting in position. Scarlett having to back off here. A lot of Bailings are being morphed in, but they are just out of vision here. Ranger does come across some of them at least. Shut them down. At the same time, Zealot Rumbai is being cleaned up across the map. Queens were ready. They did have enough energy for chance to use. No! And Immortal goes down a little bit out of position. Decent storms here do take down the Banelings. But I think we only have 2 storms left. We have 1, soon to be 2. There we go. The storms are thrown down, and that is it. They don't quite get the connections that they need. Go. Force fields are thrown down. Scarlett forced to back off. But really, these force fields, they zone away the army of Scarlett. They haven't been able to really do too well here at cutting off the army and taking an efficient fight. Scarlett rotates over to the 4th base. Looks like we have another storm. Storms are thrown down here on the main. So we still have so many more behind this. High Templar forced to be morphed into Archons. The Banelings, they crash into the army. Hydra's just stutter stepping forward here as well, and we're getting on top of the Immortals. Again, that Disruptor is on the way, but it's a little bit too late. The 4th base goes down. GG gets called, and Scarlett will take game number 2 and the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Scarlett as she moves on to the quarterfinals. Shout out to Ranger. Shout out to Ranger though, as he was of course doing his best here to compete and had some pretty interesting varieties on his openers as well. Not the most standard of play, just trying to get away with a couple of things here and there. Was able to scout the Hydrogen in the end, but wasn't able to react in time, or wasn't able to muster up a defense in time. Again, because of the opener of Ranger, Scarlett was given a lot of freedom, and yeah, it was really cool to see her, again, just take full advantage of it. GG, well played.